Joining me is Derwin Gray, Bulletin regular. Glad to have you back, Derwin. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well, man. I just, I think first things first is how are you doing in light of the
Oh man,
Colts making, a really good run at the playoffs and the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud knocking them out. I mean, like, how are you doing?
yeah. I mean, you had to go right to it, huh? Like just
Yeah.
straight, like knives out. First question. I don't even get a chance to like. Oh yeah. So here's what I'll say about it. This whole season, we knew the season was not going to be good going into it. We're like, we got a bunch of rookies. We got a brand new coach. This is like working the kinks out. Somebody started referring to him this year as the cardiac Colts because they just gave you a heart attack every game because you thought. I mean, honestly, I started every game for the first half of the season going, we're going to lose, and then they make you think that you're going to win, and then they hung in there. And I'll say this too. I think I've learned this from you because you've been a good iron sharpening iron on this with me when I've not lived up to this. But but you can be a virtuous fan and be loving even when you're mad at your team, right?
Yeah,
Like there's
absolutely.
ways to talk about your team losing, your coach being mad at your coach or whatever that are just disrespectful. And I've found a number of times over the last 3 or 4 years when I get on Twitter and I say something because I'm mad at my Colts about whatever, Pastor Derwin pops his head up and goes, "Hey, don't forget those are human beings. You don't say it like that. You don't say it mean."
Yeah,
But
yeah,
whenever you say something, I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, these are people. Don't be a
yeah.
jerk. Love your team."
Years ago when I was working on my doctoral work, we're together for 4 years in a cohort. It was year one, and somehow we got to talking about professional athletes and their career, and then the people in my cohort just began to just critique in nasty ways a particular quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And finally, yours truly goes, you guys are all ministers of the gospel. Can you help me understand where gossip is okay? Because you guys are making comments about his personal life and you don't know him. You're making comments about his professional life, and I promise you, none of you could even come close to what he does.
That's right.
And one of the other students says, well, he makes a lot of money. And I said, oh, yeah. Jesus said, if a professional athlete makes a lot of money, thou shalt be nasty and mean and crude, right? Isn't that what it says? And then finally, I had everybody in the palm of my hand at that point, and I said, you do know every spring there are tryouts, but you probably won't get invited because less than 0.1% of all people who've played football get invited to it.
Right.
And it kind of stopped the railing there.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it's good. It's always a good reminder, man. These are these are human beings. A lot of these are like they're practically kids, man. They're in their 20s and be kind. Be a kind fan. So, all right. Playoffs are coming. What's it like for these guys this week? They're getting ready for this. How is this different than a regular season?
Yeah, so there is a greater level of intensity when you get to the playoffs. So just playing in the NFL is intense. I remember my rookie year pre-season, me and a teammate were talking about what we were going to do. Like we hadn't played a game yet. So we're talking about what we're going to do. And the veterans were just quiet. Man, we got into a preseason game. Them dudes were so big, so fast. And at the next film session, the veterans are like, man, you guys are pretty quiet now. And it was humble pie.
I bet.
So to be a professional athlete is not just the ability, it's your mental capacity to play with a level of intensity. One of the reasons why I love NFL football more than college is because the level of details and execution. So when you get to the playoffs, it just ramps up immensely. The level of detail has increased, the level of intensity has increased, and also the level of taking care of your body because you are beat up at this point of the season.
Yeah. Who do you like? coming into the game this weekend. What game are you excited to watch? Who you think's got a chance to make a run here?
Man, I am really intrigued by the Browns and Joe Flacco.
Oh my goodness, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Man,
I totally agree.
I absolutely love the fact that this dude's got like 5 kids. He's taking naps on the sideline because he's tired. But man, that dude, he can rip the ball. He throws a beautiful ball. I'm also a CJ Stroud fan, so
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to a really, really good game. But if Flacco and the boys win, I would be cool with that. Um, I you know I think the Chiefs and the Dolphins are both kind of at this point paper champions a little bit because
yeah,
the Chiefs are just not who they used to be,
yeah.
and the Dolphins are good at beating up less stellar teams. So this could go either way. I I wouldn't mind seeing the Dolphins win. I think it's a little bit more compelling story. I think the Bills are hot at the right time. Tomlin is Coach Tomlin is a good friend. I want him to always do well, but I just think the Bills are ready to go. Now, the Packers and Cowboys. I'm looking forward to that.
That's the game. Yeah,
Now, I must admit, okay, now I need to preemptively repent.
I don't want to hear it.
I love when I see the Dallas Cowboy lose because all
Oh,
my
good,
pastor friends
good, good, good.
lose their minds
Yes.
on
Hey,
social media.
let's preach.
And
Let's drink the
and
haterade for the
and
for the
and and,
Cowboys on the
and here's
bulletin.
something that people don't know is I will call them. I'm not going to say who their names are, but I will call them and say, "How are you doing emotionally about them Cowboys?" I mean, it's so much fun because because Mike, check this out. Every year, Dallas Cowboy fans go, "This is the year." Dude,
Yep.
it hadn't been the year since 1996, the year my 27-year-old daughter was born. So, um, I if Dallas wins, that would be awesome. I like what Jordan Love is doing with Green Bay. Dallas is at home, so I could see them squeaking it out. Um, Puka Nakua is a friend with the Rams. I want to see him ball out, but I think the Lions are going to hammer the Rams. And then the Eagles and Buccaneers. If you talk about a lack of momentum for both of these teams, right? The NFC South has just been not awesome. The Eagles are just flat. Uh, I'm gonna go with the Eagles here. I
Okay.
think that Kelsey, Brown, and I think the defensive line for the Eagles are gonna ramp it up because after the D line, the Eagles are fairly normal. That D line can be great. So a switch has got to be turned. And then frankly, the Eagles kind of run a college style RPO offense. When you figure it out, it's not that much diversity in it.
Yeah.
So I think they need to add some new things to it. I think Hertz has got to run, uh, but I would like to see the Eagles play up to their potential.
Yeah. So I would say I think that Cleveland Houston game is. I mean, that's like you got you got age versus beauty on that one, right? Like CJ Stroud, 21 years old, leading the Texans team. Um, uh, I mean, look, the Texans are a divisional rival, so I can't cheer for them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do well. I kind of think that Miami's gonna beat up the Chiefs. Because I'm
Yeah.
with you. I think especially in that case, the Chiefs being kind of a paper tiger. Now here's the thing: like Mahomes could just wake up and play out of his mind, and it's kind of game over.
But who is he
Um,
throwing to?
that's right. That's. But who was he throwing to last year? Right? Like it wasn't. He didn't have them. He didn't have like an arsenal last year either.
True.
So, um, and so it wouldn't surprise me if that happens. But my prediction would be that this one's going to be Miami. Um, I with the Pittsburgh Buffalo game, I'm in a similar spot with you. My one caveat with that is like Mike Tomlin in the playoffs. Like he's just a guy who knows how to coach a playoff
He
team,
does.
and I'd like to see that. So I'm going to yell for the Steelers on that one. I definitely want to see the Cowboys lose for many of the same reasons as you. I don't have a dog in the fight with the Chargers Lions game. And then I would say kind of a similar thing with Philly. Like the thing with Philly is that's a team that knows how to make a playoff run, right?
Yeah.
Like they know how to kind of kick into that gear. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay does too, but that's an entirely new Tampa Bay team
Yeah.
from the last time they made a serious run. So you just wonder, can Hurts pull it together, or what's going to happen there? What about the next week? The teams that are, who if you had to pick somebody who's going to make a run to the Super Bowl, who you think is going to be our Super Bowl matchup from
I
there?
tell you what, man, I would not be surprised if the Detroit Lions done something special
Hmm.
and just shocked everybody, even the vaunted 49ers. Because remember, the 49ers went through kind of a lull.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would love to see the Lions go. And then in the AFC, man, my heart is like Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Browns.
Huh.
But well, we definitely know it's not going to be the Chargers. You know what, man? I'm going to go Cleveland Browns in an epic showdown and a quarterback controversy in 2024 between Deshaun Watson and old man Joe Flacco. Just something crazy.
Yeah. So you don't see anything with the Ravens then?
Well, but that's an easy choice. I mean, the Ravens have just been demolishing everybody. I mean,
But everybody hates on the Ravens. That's the thing. Like
well,
they
you know
they
why,
get a
right?
lot of hate
You know why?
because they win.
Well, not
Well,
only
no,
do
I'll tell
they
you why.
win,
They get hate because of Lamar. Because
yes.
Lamar has gotten hate from the. So Lamar played at Louisville. I love Lamar Jackson. I love watching him play, and no one's ever given him credit for what
No,
he
I
can do.
mean, he was the 27th pick in the first round. He sat there crying on his mom's shoulder. He's about to be a two-time MVP. The reason why Lamar gets what he gets is because he's not your standard quarterback.
Right.
And the reality is the game has changed. Is if you are a human statue in the pocket now, you're going to get devoured. Defensive ends are too fast. They're too physical. The linebackers are too fast. And so Lamar has an A-plus arm.
Yeah.
And the offense is designed as such that he can utilize his running and passing. But what I would do if I was playing him is I would stack the box with 8 and then make him beat me. But when you got OBJ coming
Right.
around, when you got Flowers out of Boston College coming around, yeah, the Ravens are the easy pick. Yes, and
Yeah.
they're violent. They're very they remind me of a 90s team. Like when they hit you, they're trying to snatch your soul. They are soul snatchers.
I love it. Yeah, dude. That's my team for the playoffs. I
Yeah.
hate to say it because I'm wrong about everything, and I feel like I'm going to jinx him. But I'm hoping for I want to see Lamar get his ring and shut the haters up once and for all. All right, last thought before we go. We talked a bit ago about kind of being a virtuous fan. When the games are coming around, and you think about your church and you think about people gathering with their friends and watching the games, what are the ministry opportunities here? How can Christians love their neighbors while they enjoy these football games?
Oh my gosh, such opportunities. One, when you watch the game with your neighbor who doesn't know Christ, don't act like someone who's Christless. Meaning, don't cuss out the referees, don't get mad at your wife, or wives don't get mad at your kids because your team is losing. Watch the game and enjoy it sober-mindedly. Number two, man, buy some chicken wings or whatever it is that you eat and be a good host. People in our culture are so lonely. Be a good host. Be kind, be insightful, build relationships. But ultimately, how you engage with people is a reflection of how you engage with Christ. And Jesus was a friend to sinners. He was called a drunkard, a glutton, which in the first century Jewish world, those are like cuss words, right? But it's a great opportunity. I'll finish with this story. This was years ago. My son was playing basketball, and so I was there with other parents, and one guy I was talking to was like, "Yeah, I teach Sunday school." And man, we talked about the Lord. We sat down, and as soon as that whistle blew, he changed into the Incredible Hulk. He was cussing out the ref. He was losing his mind. And I was like, wait a second. Do you learn this in Sunday school? Wait, are you teaching what you're like, what happened? And so, man, be mindful to walk in the spirit. Be mindful to walk in the spirit. Like, enjoy the game. But when your team loses and like you're upset, that's idolatry. Take this from a former NFL player. I've been there. If you are more upset than me about losing a game, it's idolatry. As a competitor, I know someone has to win and someone has to lose, and I know that guy in front of me is as equally as good as I am. And sometimes I can play my best and still lose. And you know what you do? You shake hands, you grieve, and you get back to work the next year, but you don't carry it in such a way that you're destructive and angry. And like people getting in fights at games. Have you seen the videos of this stuff?
It's
Like
crazy.
people are, you ain't even playing in the game and they're fighting each other. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, good, man. Well, it's always good to talk to you. I appreciate your predictions. And man, the Colts 2024, it's going to be great, right? We get Anthony back.
Yeah, I want to see Richardson do it.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks for
See you,
listening,
bro.
everybody. We'll see you.